What do I not like about the six-string bass? Practically nothing. It took some getting used to. Oh, excuse me. So today I'm going to go over all the things about six-string bass, what makes it cool, and some of the things you have to learn to overcome in order to really play it good. You know what I mean? In the end, let me just say for the record, the only real bass you need is the 4 or the 5 string. At the most, the 5 is the most valuable, because there are times, like if you're playing R&B with a keyboardist or a pianist or anything involving piano, those low C notes are great to be able to hit. You know what I mean? So in the end, if you go beyond 4 strings, it's definitely best to go straight to the 5. The 5 is just incredible, because you can just do like. So it's just a lot of really good stuff. It helps you just get familiar with other keys. So let's break it down. Alright, so we know we have an extra low and an extra high. And to start with the extra low, one of the things that makes that nice is, like I said, you got that low C note, like stuff like. So you got jazzy R&B type of things, that really sound good. And it's always nice to be able to go. So it just makes it nice. It's a good low sound. And even whether you funk bass or you play standard play, it's really beneficial, because you have your low E right there. So instead of hitting, using, you can be like. Now that low B tends to smack a lot more, as you can hear. So I tend to back up down, more toward my second pickup area. That kind of thing. So it just makes it nice. And plus, when you have just the 5 string, with the extra low, learning one other string is not a complete disaster. Most bass players, 99.9%, graft to the 5 string fairly easily. Now, when we get to 6, that's the different animal. That's where it's just kind of crazy, because you have more choices in this respect. Most people tune the C string to B like guitar, but I find that without a higher E string like guitar, I don't find that as beneficial. So I keep it at the C tuning and keep my octaves as they would be anywhere else on the bass. Now, when you play funk on a 6 string, that high C is obviously thinner, But I've not really had any need to worry about it breaking or anything, and I've slapped, popped, and tapped it pretty hard, and it's kept with it. So as far as that goes, you should be okay as far as funk poppings and. So, but now when it comes to taps, it's a thinner string. And so you kind of get the idea of how much thinner it is. Now the nice thing is, when you use the high C string, don't think of it as just, merely an extra string. Think of it as being able to play your high notes vertically instead of horizontally. As a bass player, the first thing we're used to doing is like if we know we got to hit a note that's going to go high to the next string up, we usually just run right up horizontally. And that's fine. But now with the 6th string, you got it there too. Now over here, because the notes are thinner where the strings are thinner in this area, you can hear that clearer, thinner sound in the string tone. As we're over here, it's same note, just a little thicker in the tone. So you got to go. Yes, you see what I'm saying? So just be careful when you choose to play on your high C string, so that, when you need that clarity, versus, needing that thicker tonality. Maybe you've got a beat, you're playing with the drums, and you kind of want, even though you're higher, you kind of want that little bit of thickness to show. That's what makes my choice on whether or not I'm going to play a high note horizontally or up here vertically. Because when you got it up here, you've got it right there, so whatever would be over here is there. It makes it nice. Like I say, when I want to do stuff like, instrumental pieces where maybe so it's just good to have that extra little lead string too. So those are the uses for the 6th string that, for me, it just enhances your play, you know what I mean? Now don't get me wrong, I could pull out a 4 string, whip it out, and just be jamming and doing all my stuff, and, make it work, you know what I mean? I can make it work, it's no big deal. I mean, it's just a fabulous instrument. Another thing you can do with that low string too, I forgot to mention this. You know how like you've got the low B? You can also tune it down to A. So you've got an even lower note. So you got A, and then you got A sharp or B flat. Is that insane? It's quite a low frequency, so you got to watch your tuning on it. That is so low, it's just unbelievable. I really enjoy that. And just remember that the original 4-string bass is right here in the center. Your arpeggios, of course, are expanded, because now instead of just going, like catching a C major arpeggio there, you can be like there's the C minor arpeggio. You've got your octave right there. And it's the same, like on your low string too. Got G right there. And then And so if you wanted to play G minor arpeggio. And then you got 4-note, you know, like you got larger, like smaller arpeggios and larger ones like. And then you've got the one that goes all the way to its octave. So, there we go, G natural minor. So those are the advantages. Make sure that if you're a finger bass player that you buy a 6-string bass that has a little bit of distance. You make sure you got some width between your strings, because you know how it is when you got those pick bass player strings are really close together. So if you're not a pick bass player, watch out for that when you make your first 6-string buy. Other than that, it's a great adventure. And it's a lot of fun. Now, as far as like 7-string basses and 8s and all 15-string, all that nonsense, it's a bunch of nonsense. This is just a little extra oomph. It does not mean that I'm seeking more strings. Actually, I played a 7-string about 6 months ago, and it was really uncomfortable. I found the neck to be too large. You know, it was too much. It was like, if I'm going to do all that and play such a large instrument, then I would be better just to get a 7-string guitar. It has all the same strings, and I can play chords easier, and I can just play guitar. So when you're looking at additional strings for your bass, just remember, you're doing that to enhance your choices. You're not doing that to be manipulated into going to guitar. Now, most of us bass players are too committed to the path of bass to ever dream of such a thing. But, you start thinking about that. You start getting to your 6-string bass. You're like, But this is perfect for a bass player. If you're advanced, or if you've reached that level where you're good enough to expand beyond your 4-string horizon, start with the 5. If you're unsure about a 6, get a 5 first. Spend some time with that. Learn your 5 before you even consider a higher string. Maybe that would be best. If you've been a 5-string player for a while and you're looking at that high C, I say go for it. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, it can handle it. You know what I mean? Your taps are fun because your string is thinner. So, you got a lot of advantages there. Alright, well, anyway, I'm Bowman. I hope that this was, shed some light on the 6-string and why I like it. How can you not, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm Bowman, and rock on, my friends, and until the next video, peace.